John and Dorian would have to go over there to look for the maker, and in the course of doing so, what they would discover is that in this secret, mysterious other side of the wall, that there was an even more secret and deeper and darker place within that, and it would continue like a maze. And through the season, you would get to explore the different sort of areas of that. But sadly, obviously, it's not to be. But I was ultimately grateful for the experience, and I feel so so proud of the show, and really appreciate all the fan support that it has received. And yeah, it was sad that it was cancelled. Obviously, it was a show of that nature is an expensive show to make. I think that was part of the issue. The show was made by another studio, was made by Warner Brothers, yet distributed and shown by Fox. And I think that studios have a tendency to perhaps support and promote their own product before they will support a product from somebody else. Anyway, on a positive note, it leaves me free to do more cool stuff like Star Trek. So. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, good to meet you.
I was just curious if there was any character from a book or movie that you would like to attempt if there was a new adaptation.
Wow, that's a great question. Yeah, I never really know until I read a piece of material. I really wanted to play Rob Hall, who was a Kiwi mountaineer who died on Everest during the fateful '96 season. Because to me, it's like those men and women who, really kind of give themselves in an altruistic fashion for others, really inspire me. The classic examples of firefighters and the first responders on 9/11. Those guys are heroes to me. Guys who are rushing into the building and everyone else is rushing them up. And in terms of, when I think about, playing a character like Dredd, I think about those guys, because they're cut from the same cloth. And, I hope that answers your question. Hey, how are you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Not your fault.
Out of all the characters I played, which is my favorite? That's a great question. Really hard. It's like it would be like asking a parent what is their favorite child. Okay, someone will answer that. But for me, I guess I really liked. I like different aspects about different characters, but I love working on Bourne Supremacy. The character was skeletal on the page, and yet. It was such an amazing shoot and such a great film. Obviously, Dredd is also very close to me. My collaboration with Alex Garland is something that I hold very, very dear, and I'm so glad to see that his new film, which you should really check out, Ex Machina, is doing so well. Yeah, you guys should check that out.
That's it.
And I would love the opportunity to work with him again. And beyond that, obviously, Star Trek is, playing Dr. McCoy is such an iconic character, and particularly in the first movie, the writing was so fantastic. So there's a kind of, there's a small New Zealand film, I don't know if you've seen it, it's Lord of the Rings. Thank you very much. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask, of all the movies and roles that you have performed for your career, which one was the most consuming, both physically and emotionally, and why?
Well, that's a fantastic question. Thank you for that. Most consuming physically and mentally? Probably Almost Human, because of the attrition of it, the sheer trench warfare nature of when you're shooting 6 days a week. And you think about that, 17 hours a day. There is no time in your life for anything else. On that one day that you have off, it's very difficult to get out of bed. You know, I mean, you're exhausted. You know, quite often on your, they call it a Friday, which is a Friday, Saturday, because you work till like 3 or 4 in the morning. So you literally, on your one day off, you're really kind of entrenched in the script for what you're going to shoot the next day. It's just not enough time to recuperate. So that was probably, you know, most physically challenging, just in terms of the duration of it. And, you know, sort of making sure that, I mean, the wonderful thing about that show is that it was a very collaborative show. And Michael and I were afforded the opportunity and the luxury of actually being able to improvise a lot. Like a lot of the stuff that you saw in the car was stuff like, we would do one that's on the page and then we would like riff and improvise, and the producers, to their credit, you know, gave us that freedom, and I'm so kind of appreciative of that, because it's such a rarity from what I understand. So, I mean, the whole thing about Dorian scanning Kenix's junk. I suddenly feel like holy shit. Came from an improvisation. And when the producers down in LA saw it, they loved it so much, they actually got us to reshoot, or they actually sent us a new script to add sort of stuff around it to, you know, really make it float and fly, which they did. So, yeah. I said it's not them. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you for your work.